Welcome to Surviving in Books, where life is nuts, so let's escape into great reads. We are going to talk the Hunger Games reading order today. So I made a short a while ago. It's probably only like 7 seconds long because when I was on Goodreads, I saw how they listed the reading order for the Hunger Games, and there was no mention to the fact that these two were prequels. Yes, so they take place before the original 3, but that if you are new to the Hunger Games world, it's probably not the best idea to read them first, and that upset me. So I made a short about it, but now I'm going to take the time to explain it a little bit because in the comments, people are like, well, why? Why does it matter? And so I'm going to explain why it does. Now, I am specifically talking about people that are brand new to the Hunger Games. They have not read any of the books, not seen the movies or anything. This is for you. This is how I think you will have the best experience with this fantastic world that Suzanne Collins has created for us. There are 2 main ways to read the series, and that is publication and timeline. And I am advocating for you to read it in publication order. So what does that mean? Let's talk about it. In the publication order, you're going to start with The Hunger Games. Then you're going to go to Catching Fire. Then you're going to read Mockingjay. I don't think there's any debate for reading the original trilogy in this order. So you can just accept that as the way it should be done. Now, why do I think that you should read these first? Let me tell you. First, this is in Katniss's POV, and we are dropped into the world. We don't know much about it, but we learn where Katniss is and why things are sort of the way that they are. But we also discover things as she discovers it. And if you read these first, you will be finding out those things at the same time she does. If you read the prequel before this first, you will know more information than she does. And for me, I get impatient when I know more things than the main character, the person whose head that I'm in, and I have to wait for her to discover these things. We don't know all that much about Snow, and we get to see what kind of villainous, perfect, methodical, terrible, ruthless person he is as Katniss learns that. And I think learning those things along with her really makes for a richer experience. And that's why I advocate for reading these 3 books first. Then once you finish these, you're going to go to the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is Snow's origin story, and we're going to put that right here, right after the original 3. Because once you have seen all that Snow is, it's nice to go back and see why he was that way. Because when you learn all the details about him, you're going to be like, what made you this way? Why are you the way that you are?
Why are you the way that you are?
Once you go through these first 3 and your emotional damage and everything has resolved, you will have an emotional connection to Snow, whether you like it or not, and you will be invested to see how he got there. Then when you finish that, you're going to go to Sunrise on the Reaping, and this is going to go right here last. And that is Haymitch's origin story. We get Haymitch in these first 3, and where he starts at this book is where he ends at this one. And you are going to think, well, why is he like that? And this is going to explain it. So I can see why people think, well, I'd rather just see that at the beginning. But I really feel strongly that Sunrise on the Reaping was Suzanne Collins kind of like a thank you to the fans, because the callbacks in this book are ridiculous. And you won't get them or appreciate them if you haven't read all 4 of these first. The things that are mentioned, the characters that popped up, I was so happy to see every single one of them. I was like, hey, I remember you. Wait, I remember him saying something like that. And you won't get those moments if you don't read these first. If you don't care about all the characters that are name dropped in here, it's not going to feel as good of a book, I don't think. I think part of the reason why I like this book so much was because of the space that characters that I saw in these other ones were given, and they got to be fleshed out and made more rich. And I really enjoyed seeing them again. It made me very happy. My heart was so full. So that is publication order. And that is the order that I highly, highly recommend anyone new to the series. Now I will go over timeline order. But again, I don't recommend that if it's your first time with this. I think it's okay if you watch the movies of the first three and you're like, okay, now I want to kind of dive into the books. Then you could probably start in the other order, or if you're on your reread. So let's discuss what the timeline order looks like. So for timeline order, then we're going to do ballads first, and you're going to learn about why Snow is the way that Snow is. Then you're going to go to Sunrise on the Reaping, and you're going to see why Haymitch is the way that he is. But if you're ignoring me and you decide to do this order, even though it's your first time, do not, I repeat, do not read the epilogue in this book. It is a complete spoiler for the entire thing. So go ahead and ignore me and read this, but skip the epilogue and come back to the epilogue at the end. Anyway, timeline order. We got Snow's backstory. Now we're going to do Haymitch's backstory. Then we're going to go back in order with the Hunger Games and Catching Fire and Mockingjay. So this is your timeline order. Again, this is for your reread or people who've watched the movies and now want to do it, or people who just can't bear to read things out of timeline order. But I'm telling you, because you just care that much more about where the person came from after you've been dropped into where they are now. And I think that applies to this. And that's why this is not the order that I recommend. But if you want to do it, by all means, just remember epilogue last. Okay, I can't stand to see these books in this order. So let's move them back like that. Now, whatever you do, just please read them. If you've never read these books before, this is a masterclass in dystopian, emotional damage, character development, plot, pacing, social commentary of like where the world could be if we're not careful. Just all of the things wrapped up into this series. It is fantastic, fantastic. So just read them, even if you don't listen to me, but please do listen to me. Okay, so that's going to be it. Please remember to like and subscribe. That's very, very important. And I appreciate all of you who already do that. And I will see you next week. We are going to be doing part 2 of Alchemized.